Well, we were made to work for it a little bit at the end there, a really nervy last few minutes, but it finished at Vicarage Road, Watford 1, Man City 2, and overall a dominant display that restores our 5-point gap at the top of the table before Liverpool play tomorrow, of course. Let's talk about the game and how the match was won. Yes guys, welcome to this video. Before we get stuck into it, I do want to mention a couple of things. Firstly, an apology, there's been no video on the channel over the last week. There was no reaction or preview for the game at the weekend against Bournemouth, and there's been no career mode either. I've just been crazy busy with work and everything, so everything should be getting back on track again this week. You'll be seeing this video late on tonight, and hopefully the next instalment of the career mode video for those of you guys that are asking will be out on Thursday, so stay tuned for that. It's a big week actually in terms of Man City, so there should be a preview for the Chelsea game, and then of course a reaction from that as well at the weekend. But as always, your support on the channel has been phenomenal, so thank you so much for that. Even when I've not been uploading, comments, new subscribers, everything's just been amazing, so thank you so much. If you do enjoy this video, again as always guys, leave a big thumbs up on it. It does help the channel grow and I really appreciate it. But yeah, focusing on the game against Watford away from home, it was a game that expected us to win. I mean, there's not many games that I don't expect us to win these days, and it's a game, a fixture, I should say, that in recent years we've been so dominant in. At Vicarage Road, we've beat them 5-0, 6-0. They've been that kind of opponent where we've just scored so many goals against them in recent years. So to have a 2-1 game like it was this evening was a bit more of a change of the scene. And as I mentioned in the introduction, it was very nervy towards the end. The lineup that we went with was kind of what I think most people expected for the main part. You had Jesus leading the line. Of course, Aguero's still been missing with that little bit of a knock that he's picked up. Hopefully he won't be missing for too much longer. Mahrez started on the right hand side, who was absolutely outstanding. Man of the match display from him, getting a goal and an assist. No Sterling, which was kind of surprising because he's been on an electric run of form of late. But Sane did start on the left, who's also been in great form and had a decent game once more. Looking further back into the midfield, we had David Silva, Bernardo Silva and Fernandinho. That was I think what most people would have predicted would be lining up with. And in the back four, which was a little bit different I suppose from what a couple of people might have said, Company coming in there alongside Stones, Walker getting back into the team after Danilo started in the game against Bournemouth at the weekend, and Delph holding on to his spot at left back. I think obviously we got Mendy out with an injury. Zinchenko's got a bit of a knock as well. I think he's got a broken nose there, a few people have been saying, or something along those lines, which is why Danilo started again. And the ever-present, of course, Ederson in between the sticks, who was so casual. There was a couple of no-look passes from him in the in between the sticks today, and had a great game. Made a big save from Dini early on when it was still 0-0 I think at the time, and yeah, had a great game in general. In terms of Watford's lineup, they went with the two big men up top in front of the absolute barricade, what's the word I'm after, the battering ram that is Troy Deeney, trying to hassle the defenders, and then Success, who's also a big lad up top, but with a bit more pace, trying to go with those two to connect at the top end of the pitch. But they didn't really have too much success, to be honest with them. They managed to really keep them quiet for, you know, probably 80 of the 90 minutes of the game. And the big surprise for me was that Delafeu didn't start, a really pacey, tricky player that I thought could be perfect for Watford on the break, but him not making a start was a bit of a surprise. But the standout player for Watford without doubt was Ben Foster in between the sticks, who had an absolutely phenomenal game. If it wasn't for him, there would have been no exciting finish. The game would have been dead and buried, because it could have been 4-5, 5-0 I would say. You know, we had some great chances and he made a couple of phenomenal saves. It was a crazy game really, because for how dominant we were for 80 minutes, they could have come back into it and equalised towards the end. I mean, the pattern of the game, it started off with, I mean, for almost the entire game we were dominating. Foster made a couple of fantastic saves from Jesus, from Leroy Sane, from Bernardo Silva. He had a great, in fact, did he make one from Leroy Sane? I can't remember, but he certainly made a couple from Mahrez, certainly made a couple from Jesus as well. He had a great game in between the sticks, and I was quite surprised that he didn't get man of the match, to be honest, even though obviously we did win the game. But the opening game came through some great play from Mahrez. He did get man of the match. He was certainly our best player in the night. Every time he got the ball, it looked like something was going to come out of it. Him and Bernardo Silva kept on linking up on that right-hand side and causing Watford's defence a lot of problems. And yeah, the first goal when it came, it wasn't surprising that he was a big part of it. Played a fantastic ball into the box. Leroy Sane chested it into the net. So Foster just couldn't get near it. You know, it was really calm from Sane, to be honest. Could have easily panicked and gone for like a difficult volley or stooped for the header, but chested it home, and it was a lovely, lovely finish. Just before that, we should have taken the lead. I think it was Jesus that had put one against the goalkeeper. Another great save from Ben Foster. And like I said, at this point, Watford were hanging on, and without Foster, would have certainly been 1 or 2 goals down at that point. But that gave us the lead. We then built on that, and Mahrez got the goal that he thoroughly deserved. Another great piece of football, and like I say, at the time, it was thoroughly deserved. We were absolutely sublime throughout the game, and when that goal came, it just wasn't any sort of surprise, really. It was just at the start of the second half. Another great move. This time, like I said, Mahrez getting on the end of a lovely pullback after some good play from Leroy Sane on that left-hand side, and Jesus gets another assist. And, you know, the only thing missing from him today was a goal. He was a big part in the attacking link-up, and he always seems to do that so well. Link up with the players around him, hold on to the ball when necessary. But really, he's lacking goals, particularly in the Premier League this season. He had a great chance in the second half as well, where he tried to chip Foster and just went wide. And he really needed to take that chance. And it's the kind of chance where, if he had taken it 3-0, there's no chance of that grandstand finish that we saw in the game today. As we know, Watford did come back into it. It took them all the way until the 89th minute until they finally started to apply some pressure. Deulofeu came on, a player that, like I say, I was surprised didn't start, and he did cause us some problems with his trickery and his pace. It was Doucorre who headed home. No, he didn't head home. He smashed it home after an absolute scramble in the box. I thought 1 second we got away with it because Kyle Walker made a phenomenal goal line clearance, but it came back to Doucorre, who put it into the net. And like I said, that set up a grandstand finish, and they did have a great chance to equalise from a corner where Troy Deeney hung high in the air, got the header back across goal, and Edison made the catch up very easily. If there was a bit more a bit more power in that header, it could have been very problematic. But that did ensure that save, really, that we saw at the trickiest moment of those last few minutes or so that were added on, and came away with all 3 points. And I think, you know, when you look at the run of fixtures we've got now, there's a lot of games coming thick and fast, being it, you know, the Christmas period's always the same. It was another big win away from home, and something we need to build upon, bearing in mind we've got Chelsea this weekend. I think another key thing to really bear in mind is the fact that obviously we're going through these December fixtures now that are coming thick and fast. There's going to be a lot of rotation. You know, we saw the likes of Danilo come in against Bournemouth at the weekend and managed to get the job done and come over to 3-1 winning again, where we were largely unconvincing in the second half. You know, it took a while to turn the tap and get the game flowing in our direction. And today the performance was much better, and I think that's because you got some of the key individuals coming in. But still today, you know, when you look at it, we were without Aguero, who's obviously our main striker, without Kevin De Bruyne, who's our main midfielder in terms of creating chances. I know we've got David Silva as well, but, you know, De Bruyne last season was imperial in his form, and, you know, we do miss him sometimes when he's not there to take the pressure off David. I feel like there was no first choice left back in Benjamin Mendy, no Aymeric Laporte from the start today, who was our best centre back all season. So, you know, we're doing this with a rotated team that's going to be necessary through these December fixtures, because, like I say, you know, Bournemouth Saturday, Watford today, Chelsea at the weekend, then we're going back into the Champions League, where thankfully we're in a strong position, and that's why we needed to get that positive result that we did against Lyon in the next round, because it gives us the opportunity to rest a couple of these players. You know, Company came in today and was very solid, went off with an injury, which is always heartbreaking to see in you know, with the luck that he's had, but it didn't seem too serious. You know, he ran off the pitch, and, you know, hopefully nothing too major. But as I say, our squad depth is really going to be tested. You know, the likes of Gundogan coming in, who came off the bench today, is going to be a key player, I think, in the coming weeks. And someone like Foden, who I think a lot of people are still disappointed in, who hasn't got a start of late, is someone that I think has to get a start over this Christmas period, just because of the magnitude of fixtures that we got coming up. But pleasing to get the 3 points. Like I say, it puts us 5 points clear again at the top of the table and restores that pressure onto Liverpool, who of course got pretty fortunate at the weekend. Very disappointing from our point of view, obviously, when that late goal went in for Origi in the Merseyside derby. But we're putting the pressure back on them. They play tomorrow night, of course, and that's all we can do. Just keep on winning games, and especially now when they're coming thick and fast. You know, points are going to be dropped in this December period, I think, by potentially us and by Liverpool as well, just because of how many games are coming up. But that is going to end off the video, guys. Like I said, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Great to get the 3 points. You know, a lot more tricky than it needed to be in the last few minutes, but still, on the whole, a great display and a dominant one, in which Mahrez, like I say, was my man of the match. But let me know your thoughts down below. Give this video a big thumbs up if you have enjoyed, and I will catch you all in the next video, which will be the next instalment of the career mode, which will be out on Thursday, guys. So I'll speak to you all in that one. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and yeah, catch you next time. Nidge out.